Nope. That's not part. No negotiation. Never in life.
Fam, Junior said, I'm lost in the wisdom of life. I've never read a dictionary.
Wow, I believe it. Look what the full
Do you know what it means to say you're lost in the wisdom of life? That's a bar. That's a low-key bar.
You proud of that one?
That's not a bar at all.
If Nas said that, you'll be like, oh my God.
Who?
You man, isn't it? You Nas fans.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
my
Relax,
God.
relax. Lost in the wisdom of life.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 43 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with your boys Peter,
Peace.
Mohammed.
Yo.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know, man.
Can't I say peace?
No, it's because I can see your face when you said it. And I was just like, bro.
So what, I can't wish like peace upon the listeners and ourselves.
Yo,
Of
let's
course you
go,
can.
man.
Of course
Let's
you can.
I'm saying
Of
I
course you
can't
can.
like put peace in the atmosphere.
And myself, Yemi.
Yep.
We are coming to you for our last episode of 2020. Guys, how we doing?
Yeah, man, we're all good, man. You know,
Good.
first episode since being a 30-year-old.
Oh, yes. Yes. Is that true? Oh, yeah. Yes, because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
recorded the last one.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Oh,
How does it feel?
shit, yeah.
feels good, man. Feel all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, my knee was feeling a bit mad though. I went for a run this morning and it was
I mean,
do you know what I mean? I had to do a couple extra stretches.
listen. I didn't realize that old age would hit you so quickly.
Bro,
But
me neither. But yeah, no, we're here, man. We give all glory to the Most High, of course.
of course.
How
And
you man doing?
yeah, we're here, man. I mean, obviously, we're recording on a Saturday, and this Saturday that we're recording on has been the day that Tier 4 has come into effect,
Sure.
pretty much. So that basically means that Christmas is essentially cancelled. You cannot leave your house.
Man,
You can't mix with other households. You can't even leave your area. You know what I mean? International travel's banned,
crazy.
and it's all a bit mad. Like, so, thank you, Boris, and everybody else involved for ruining Christmas. You'll be remembered for that forever, I'm sure.
Trust me.
But yeah, man, we're here though.
Never ending saga, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually a never
It's just
ending
gonna keep.
saga.
It's just gonna lockdown, stop, start, and shout out everybody who, when the second lockdown finished, went all the way to like Central to like queue in droves and stuff to like shop or whatever, because I'm sure that's resulted in a much more increased surge in cases as well as the new variant of Corona as well. So
Yeah.
shout out everybody for that as well. We just live in a whatless nation of selfish people and stupid politicians.
That's a great saying. That is a
So-
perfect. You summed that up beautifully, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
That
you
is funny.
Bruv,
You went on a great. That was amazing.
that's how I feel though, man.
Hey, salute to you.
It is what it is though, man. Mohammed, how's your week been?
It's been a weird one. Just been working, really. Yeah, it's been just been working today. I guess after 4 o'clock, news came out that we're not working anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just the shop stayed open, but couldn't really do anything. It's just been a weird one because I guess we kind of got the hint that something was gonna happen, just not as soon as it did. So I was mentally prepared for a lockdown. I just didn't know it was gonna be a Saturday. So it was more of a team case where we were just gearing up to let the staff know what potentially can happen, what can't happen. That's about it.
Well, it's because the government told you that restrictions were going to be relaxed over Christmas, and then that just went to shit
Yeah.
very quickly.
I think everyone knew a lockdown was coming. I just don't think anyone thought it was this imminent.
Not this side of January though.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be about January 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
January-
I was thinking the same
I was
thing.
thinking January 5th to January 10th because once
Yeah.
New Year's died down. But it must show you the severity of what's going on for it to be now.
Listen, we went off lockdown, the second one, like 2-3 weeks ago,
Bro, yeah, my shop's been open for 3 weeks.
and now we're going back into one. It is what it is though, isn't
Bro,
it?
they don't learn. They go in too late, come out too early.
They don't listen to advice. They don't listen to scientists. They don't listen to anything. It is what it is
I was
though.
literally just about to book a flight to Antigua.
God.
I came very close to doing it like a
But
couple
thank-
days
You
ago.
may have
God
saved your
didn't,
money.
bro.
But I thought, you know what, let me wait.
But thank God you didn't.
Boy,
And that's
trust.
the second time that something's come in handy when because you was also going to buy the present.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Look at the way
yeah.
the world works.
I know, right? It's mad.
Peter, how's your week been?
It's been good, man. Just working from home, settling, into life as a 30-year-old. And yeah, man, it's been okay. Just quiet. And yeah, just looking forward to next year. I'm just hoping it's a lot less chaotic
Inshallah.
than this year, really. But yeah, it's been all right, man. Can't complain too much.
Any year's got to be less chaotic than this year.
I'm saying.
God willing, fam.
Yeah, for real.
In your week,
I was just
Thank
about to ask him as well.
we're getting better.
I
With
was
it,
right there with it.
We're getting better.
No,
with
don't
it.
pat
I
your-
was right there, ready
Gentlemen,
to back you.
gentlemen,
We're getting
gentlemen, I'm not having you patting yourselves in the back for giving me the common courtesy of asking me how I am and what my
Let's
week's
talk
been
about
like.
That's crazy.
Like, exactly. You sound mad.
That's wild.
But yeah, I've had a good week. I haven't done much, to be honest. I'm still on furlough. You know, and just been chilling really. Just cleaning the house. And not much else, going on walks, listening to bear music.
Yeah.
Finally. And yeah, man, just been chilling. Ain't done much, man. But yeah, was looking forward to Christmas, but obviously now it's kind of up in the air. So yeah, man, I guess we'll see. Very happy to see the back of 2020, to be honest.
Trust me, man. It's a year we'll never forget.
For sure.
They're going to talk about 50 years from today.
Because last year was bad, but this year's topped it by
This is going to be history books.
astronomical levels, man.
This is stuff your grandkids are going to come and say, yo,
It's
you
crazy,
survived
yeah.
this.
But the saving grace has been our growth. Obviously, we started the year on what? 20 episodes, and now we're on episode 43. So, you know, we're going from strength to strength and everything like that. Man. So, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you everybody who's subscribed, followed, you know, even listened to a minute of us. So, we're always grateful. We're always grateful.
Big up Ireland as well. Got some special listeners out there.
Big up Ireland as well. I'm pretty sure we got special listeners in Sweden as well. So, big up them as well. Yeah, and 2021 is going to be a great year for us, you know, inshallah and all that. Got some big plans.
Major announcements coming soon.
Major announcements coming soon. We got a lot of cool things on the way in the pipeline as well. So please stay tuned for all that. We're working. So stay tuned for all of that. You're gonna hear a lot more different voices next year as well. You know, just to freshen things up a bit. So, you know, until then, just thank you for rocking with us. But yeah, we're gonna go into our roundup of 2020, y'all.
Hey.
So
let's get into this bag.
Oh wait, before we do that, should we talk about what we've been listening to this week?
Yes.
Peter, what have you been listening to this week?
I've been listening to Peach Instrumentals 3, actually. Peach Instrumentals 3, which is Pete Rock's third edition of that title of an album.
Beat tape?
Huh?
Beat tape?
Beat tape, yeah, man. It sounded real good, real smooth. He abandoned samples and went for a live band. And it might be the best one. Better than the first one? Yeah, sounds really good, man. Really good.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been enjoying that. I finally got a chance to check out Leanne La Havas's album, which might be her best one as well. Absolutely amazing, man, because I feel like her first album was a bit too folky for me. This one was a bit more soulful. And I just enjoyed what she was singing about as well. So I feel like, yeah, this might be her best one as well. So I really enjoyed that. Alex Isley, she, this is an old project, but I've just been revisiting this. It's called The Beauty of Everything Part 1, which is an EP. She's the daughter of one of the Isley brothers.
Didn't she collab with Kendrick? Maybe I'm thinking of Ronald Isley.
I don't think she did.
I might be thinking of
she did.
Ronald Isley.
But yeah, no, I checked out that EP. So R&B lovers out there, like if you're listening, check it out. It's dope. Nubia Garcia finally got to check out her album Source, which was quite a long one, man.
Yep.
The songs are like 6 minutes, 7 minute long, but they sounded good though.
The jazz albums this year have been very long, but they've been very good.
Yeah. I finally got to check out Jeezy's album, which I really enjoyed. I wasn't sure about some of the placing of the songs. I feel like, yeah, man. At times, because I feel like there was songs that I really enjoyed, and then he put in a song that I didn't like so much. But overall, it was a good project though. And then there was a song released by Robert Glasper featuring her and Michelle Wendegocello, which I really loved. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. I've been all over the place, to be fair. But yeah, that's it.
I've been sleeping on her. Like, she did a performance at the Mobile Awards, and
what song did she perform? Damaged.
I was like, yo, this is fire. But yeah.
Well, when I heard Damaged, man.
I had my favourite non-rap song last year.
Her?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favourite non-rap song was Slide. That was my favourite non-rap song, little fun fact.
Bro, that Damaged song? Bruv.
Don't look at me like that, bro. Don't look at me when you're talking about this shit.
Fuck around, made me want to go find
love. Don't look at me!
Mohammed, what have you been listening to this
so
week?
I can't look at my guys in the eye and make eye contact.
Not when you're reciting her lyrics.
No, all I'm saying is, I wasn't even reciting the lyrics.
Yo, I'm going to tell you what I've been listening to.
Please
wait.
Yo,
Before you...
Wait. No, because there's a joke here.
Wait, man.
I'm going to tell you what I've been listening to. And
Please
tell me if Peter can look me in the eye and talk this.
Wait, before you start though, all I wanted to say was the song Damaged by her, you know, fuck around and make me want to go find love. That's all.
Right. So you looked me in the eye and you said that, yeah? Yeah, me. Do you know who I've been listening to? First artist I've been listening to is A.R.
Yes, that was your track of the week this week.
Nah, you can't look me in the eye. I want to listen to A.R.
Why can't I look you in the eye?
I dare you to look at A.R. in the eye and say the words there.
Fam, so what? I can't listen to a song and it make me want to go find love.
Bro, come on, man.
Do you know what's so mad though? Fam, whoever listens to this must think that like I'm just out here lonely listening to R&B songs on my lonesome.
I mean,
Boy, if they knew,
It's
I mean, they'll be correct.
It's not
but
inaccurate, is it?
I mean, Peter's not exactly lonely.
Let's not do that.
Hey, man.
Anyway, shout out ARAB.
These
I heard
views
that
shared
he,
by Mohammed are views of Mohammed and Mohammed only.
listen,
They
shout
are
out
not a true
ARAB. man.
reflection of.
Audience, we're clearly having fun with it. It's the end of the year. It's whatever.
Yeah,
innit?
man. I've been
But,
listening to ARAB. I finally got to Big Sean's project.
Before you go on, shout out ARAB. I heard he got stabbed in prison.
Yeah, he got stabbed. I suppose he's
So,
not doing so great.
you know,
pray
prayers
God
up for him.
Charlie will be alright.
For sure.
My salute to him. Got finally listened to Big Sean's project.
What you think?
Non-rap. I got to listen to Wizkid's album finally.
Mm.
I'm not a bit late on it, so I caught up on Wizkid's album. So that's about it, really. I didn't listen to too much projects. It's been more non-rap, to be honest with you. Like I listened to Wizkid's project. I've been listening to their pop songs. Don't Judge Me.
What songs?
Hey man, I don't want to get into that.
No, go on. Let's talk about it, man. This is a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, safe space.
This is the most unsafe safe space.
You say Blue.
What
Played a
song?
bit All Rise.
Don't look at me and
that's
tell
a
me
classic.
all rise though.
That's a classic though.
Hey man, do you know what it is?
That's a classic.
Do you know what it is? I've been
Don't look at me like that. It's a
You know,
classic.
It's my shop floor place. I've been updating it, innit? And it's been too much rap. So one of the customers complained.
You would be the one to play All Rise by Blue.
So I needed to add
In Angel.
I needed to sprinkle a bit of that music into it, innit? So man added One Love.
Yo,
All
a
Rise.
7-foot Somalian,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna say what I was about to say. Listening to All Rise is mad.
I've been in the shop every day. I really haven't been listening to rap music like that. So yeah, it's been a boring week, really.
Hear that?
What
Yeah,
yeah, me come with artists I've never heard of in my life?
Trust. What you been listening to, man?
Oh man, I've been
Don
listening to a
Diablo,
lot.
for all I know. Don Diablo.
Who the hell is Don Diablo?
Don Diablo.
You know Yemi. You know
House
Yemi
DJ.
listens to these under the underground artists. These artists, yeah, have dirt under their fingernails.
Oh, fam.
They don't shower for days.
What, just hair looking
Mad
all over
boom
the
back.
place?
Wait,
Mad dusty.
wait.
Sample.
Wait.
Jonathan
Yo,
Brown,
you know Yemi's the ultimate backpacker.
Wait.
Ultimate,
Ultimate, bro.
Ultimate.
Wait. How? I don't know how this happened. First of all, and second of all, you want to talk about dirt underneath the fucking fingernails and fucking not showering? You man are the biggest. No, Peter, you're the biggest fanboy of Erykah Badu, and she does none of
Nah,
those
we're
things.
not doing that to the queen.
We are doing these things.
We're not doing that to the queen. Respect the queen, man. The queen takes showers.
The Queen does not take showers.
Defo takes showers.
She does not take showers.
When I saw her, she looked like she had showered.
There's an orange must that comes out
Stop
of
that.
her. Of her.
Stop that.
see-
You're being
Anyway,
disrespectful.
anyway, what have I been listening to? I've been listening to rap wise. I've been listening to. I finally listened to the Spillage Village album. Spillage Village is made up of Spillage.
And can you chill with a podcast, man?
But Spillage Village is made up of Jid and Earth Gang, who are on Dreamville.
I don't listen to either. Big up both though.
You should listen to Earth Gang. You'd like them.
You reckon?
Yes.
Did he get
Actually,
into
no, they had a great song with Tiana and Major 9.
Yes.
Did you get into a
Collide.
Twitter debate about Earth Gang recently?
No, I did not.
Where you said get rid of someone and someone was like, what about... I know, man.
No, that wasn't me. But yeah, I listened to Spillage Village's new album, Spillagion, something like that. Spillagion. Anyway, it's great. Really, really good. It contains not only Jid and Earth Gang. It had some features from, I think Black is in there as well. So there was a couple of songs with Black on them and Ari Lennox and this dope female artist called Mariba as well, who I think is an affiliate. But yeah, it's a great album. You should check it out.
Jid's dope.
Jid is dope.
Wavy.
I finally listened to Royce the 5'9's album, The Allegory, which I thought was really, really good. I was just wowed by the production, the fact that he was able to construct those beats himself and just like rap at such a high level. So
It was too long though, man. That's my issue with Royce. I feel like most of these projects, they've got a lot of good music, but it's just mad long.
well, thing with me is I feel you, and I also feel like cool, you can bar in it, but you don't always, less is more sometimes, isn't
Yeah,
it?
100%.
When it comes to like song length, when it comes to album length, when it comes to bars as well, like sometimes less is more. If he had made like a 40-minute album of like, which was still as conceptually strong as The Allegory, like we'd be talking about his album of the year. It'd be definitely be in contention. But I feel you, it was a little too long, but I didn't mind because obviously I'm on furlough, so I ain't got shit to do. So yeah, that was dope. In terms of non-rap, actually no, there was another tune, and this is an underground artist, Lord Apex, who's from West London, and he did a song with Westside Gun that dropped yesterday actually, which is really dope. And he's also got an album with Vidon called Supply and Demand, which is also really dope as well. I think he's got a feature on there with CJ Fly of Pro Era. So yeah, dope. Apex is like a really dope lyrical rapper. And outside of rap, I listened to the Wizkid album as well. I thought that was really good. I listened to this album called Forever Your Girl by an artist called Kia. which is really dope.
Oh yeah. I think did I not mention that on here? I might have mentioned it in the group chat, but yeah, fire.
Yeah, I think you might have.
Yeah, fire.
I finally got around to it, and it was really, really good. And yeah, man, I've just been having a nice listening week / 2 weeks as well. So big up to all the artists, names and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So without further ado, guys, let's get
do this.
into our end of year wrap up. So what we're gonna cover today is we're gonna cover our favorite albums. We're gonna cover albums that may have disappointed us a tad. We're gonna cover our favorite tracks of the year, hip hop wise, and we're gonna cover our favorite rappers of the year and our predictions for 2021, and looking back on the predictions that we made last year and seeing if we were somewhere near the mark or completely off the mark, which I'm sure some of us were. So without further ado, let's kick off with our favorite albums of the year. So who wants to start off?
We're doing top 5 or top 10?
Top 5.
Brother, man.
No one,
Why you got to say it like that?
because no one does top 10.
All right, man. Sorry, man.
Also, shout out Brian B. Miller, who has been active on the socials this week with a list of all his
Fuck
favorite
B-Dot, man.
things. He did his favorite albums. He did his favorite albums, I think, yesterday. He did favorite rappers. He did favorite features as well. And, you know, it has caused a lot of controversy on the TL.
To be fair,
And on the
keyword
group
is
chat as well.
favorite, his favorite. So let me not be mad at it. If he was objectively saying these are the best features or the best
No, it's
albums,
what
the
we're
best
doing,
rappers,
it's what we're doing,
then
basically.
because that's where my my disgust was coming from. I think I might have misread it. I think he was objectively trying to say that these were the best features, best albums, and best rappers. So based on that, I was absolutely appalled.
I feel like with those, they're always going to be subjective, though. Like, there's no way of measuring. And also, if you're even going to be objective, then Lil Wayne and Big Sean and Russ are nowhere near those lists. Anyway.
Should we tell the listeners what was on the list? What his list? Yeah.
I think on his list was, I need to get it up.
But did he say favorite or best?
I think he said these were his top 10
So you can't debate it.
favorites.
You can't debate it then.
We could always debate it.
Not really. If I say this is my personal favorite five,
I can get on if you give me a top 10 favorites list and it's whack. I can get on to you.
But it's their favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna respect the fact that it's your personal favorite.
So basically-
but I can poke holes in it and let you know why you should switch up your favorites.
So audience, B Dot's list is titled MVP 10 Best Rappers of 2020.
Oh, he said best.
And his criteria is based on skill, performance, and presence. Now, in order, number 1, Freddie Gibbs. Number 2, Conway the Machine. Number 3, Benny the Butcher. Number 4, Russ. Number 5, Big Sean. Number 6, Lil Baby. Number 7, Nas. Number 8, Drake. Number 9, Lil Wayne. And number 10, Stove God Cooks. Now, half of that is just wrong, really. Russ, I mean, I don't listen to his music. Good luck to him, but no. Big Sean, no. Lil Baby, I can see why he did that because Lil Baby has been everywhere this year, but no. Drake, come on, man. Lil Wayne, absolutely not. And yeah, I mean, it caused a lot of controversy. And one of us in this podcast, I'm not going to say who. Actually, no, I'll say who. Peter was utterly appalled. I wish I could tell you what he said in the group chat, but it's a bit long for that one there. So, you know, certain man were just a little bit upset. And some of us even took lengths to go on Twitter and comment on B Dot's list.
Is that what he done?
To the effect of saying, so wait, Black Thought hasn't been rapping this whole year?
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me, man.
Of course it was him. It wasn't going to be me. You know what I mean?
Well, you know,
So-
I was really moved because I don't even really be operating on the Twitter like that. But
Exactly.
I was appalled by the list. I just thought this is just a poor list, and I feel like somebody that is in his position has way more responsibility than that.
But at the same time, even though he does have responsibility, he is still a person with subjective thought. If he's going to try and make an objective list, then that list is completely different.
Exactly.
But enough about B Dot's list.
Yes.
Peter, what are your top 5 favorite albums of the year and why? And what is your criteria also?
Oh, and why? Jeez, I weren't prepped for that. Top 5. So I've got Ransom Director's Cut 2, which is an EP. Ransom's been around for a while, man. He used to rap. He was very heavily featured on like DJ Clue tapes. He was in a group called the A-Team with a rapper called Hitchcock and Joe Budden. And so he's been around for a while. I think him and Joe Budden had a little bit of tension, which kind of spilled over into like street issues.
Which Vlad made 10 times
Which Vlad kind of
is it?
documented.
Vlad-
He documented that
Vlad made it
on
so much worse
on
than-
camera.
That's why Joe Budden.
And I think it actually led to Ransom being locked up.
This podcast unequivocally does not fuck with DJ Vlad. Fuck DJ Vlad.
Yeah, so it led to him being locked up. And then after that, I think it kind of led to a bit of a blackballing by him. So he'd been quiet on the scene, just quietly releasing mixtapes. And this year, I've kind of just found that like he's really re-emerged like properly. Even so much where, you know, him and Joe Budden have squashed their issues, and, you know, he's been receiving a lot of shout outs and big ups on their podcast. And he's just quietly this year released like 3 dope EPs with a producer called Nicholas Craven. So one of them is called Director's Cut 2. So I've got that on my list as my top 5. And it's just heavily soul sampled, which I love, and just really, really good rhyming, man. His delivery is, he's just in the pocket, and his ability to really just speak grown man shit. I just really enjoyed. He's just a dope rapper. I feel like when I listen to Benny the Butcher, I think of Ransom sometimes. They have similar sort of aesthetics and sort of rhyming patterns, but I feel like Ransom rhymes better. So yeah, for that reason, I've got Director's Cut 2 EP in my top 5. I've got Benny the Butcher, Burden of Proof, which was produced by Hit Boy. Hit Boy's had a hell of a year, also producing for Nas. And I think this is actually the best album of the year. I just feel like the beats were just flawless, perfect for Benny. A bit different from what he usually raps on, because his beats are usually produced by like Derringer, and the beats are a lot more dusty, a lot more, I don't know, just a bit more cinematic, a tiny bit more, I don't know, just grimy. So this one was a bit more soulful, and Benny just, I don't know, just feels like he fit into that perfectly, and he was just rhyming great on it, man. So I've got Burden of Proof on there by Benny the Butcher. I've also got Reasonable Drought by an artist called Stove God Cooks, he's a new guy. He used to roll with Busta Rhymes. I guess things didn't work out there, so he's now aligned with I think Griselda, if I'm not mistaken. This particular project was produced by Rock Marciano, and I just thought it was dope, man. Just a new guy coming in and releasing this as his first project. I just thought it was just amazing. So I've got that album on there as well. I've got Freddie Gibbs' Alfredo, which was produced by Alchemist. Freddie Gibbs has had a hell of a year, which we'll get onto later. And it's just a dope album, man. Freddie Gibbs, like the last few years, I feel like since aligning himself with Madlib, he's just become so much of a better rapper. His ear for music has just like tremendously like improved and gotten better. And this year I just feel like he had a hell of a year. So it's just a dope project from top to bottom. And then 5th, even though I haven't had as much time to sit with it as the other albums on the list, I can't not put it on there. Rock Marciano, Mount Marcy.
Shock.
I was waiting.
And I'm still not decided. I still need to sit with it a bit more, but it's just a dope album, man. Just based on what I've heard, it's just dope, cinematic, great rhyming as always, and yeah, the production is a bit different from his previous work. It's a tad bit more cinematic, but I just really enjoyed it, man. Like Rock Marcy just hasn't missed for me, bro. He's just not missing, and he's slowly becoming my favorite rapper, like ever, slowly. And you man know how I feel about Black Thought, but Rock Marciano's like, he's challenging that, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Just because these last few albums have just been flawless, man.
And he makes better albums than Black Thought.
Let's not do that.
I mean, there's a reason why Black Thought.
But yeah, so
not in
that
your top 5. I'm just saying.
Listen, stop. That rounds out my.
Yo, that was anger as well.
That rounds out my top 5 albums of the year.
Any honorable mentions?
Yeah, Car, Descendants of Cain. That was also a very dope album. Car's rhyming ability is just, man, he's just dope, man. Like his ability to just paint pictures is just amazing to me. He's worked quite heavily with Rock Marciano as well, and yeah, I just love the way he just pens his words, man. And that was just a great album. So yeah, that's my honorable mention, and that rounds up my favorite albums of the year.
Lovely stuff. I mean,
Lovely.
yeah, not surprised about that one, to be fair. I mean, we knew Rock Marcy was going to be in there. We knew Stove God Cooks was going to be in there. We definitely knew Benny was going to be in there. So, thank you for that, Pete. Mohammed?
We just same again next year, just a different order, something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So my one, I've gone for a different kind of thing because I just want to be a bit different. So I've kind of gone for, not what I think is the best, what I think is my favourite. I'm not here to debate the best. I'll give that to Pete all day long. He can debate that till the cows come home, bro. So first one I'm going to start off with, whoever...
Is this number 1 or number 5?
What do you mean? It's not in order.
Oh, it's not in order.
Yeah, mine wasn't in order.
It's not in order. It's not in order. First one I'm going to go with is Whoever Knows Me Is No Shock. I've been waiting for it for 13 years. I'm going with Jay Electronica's album.
A written testimony.
I was waiting for it when I was in secondary school. It dropped and he did not disappoint. He might have got washed, but I'm not here to debate that.
Let's not do that.
I'm here to debate the class.
Let's not do that, man.
Of that album. Second one I'm going for is J Hus, Big Conspiracy. I thought the album was back to front sonically amazing. I think he was on job. I think the anticipation which he had at another level. I think he lived up to it. And then when we go to Disappointing, there's another artist who essentially, I would say, had the same anticipation for his second album and didn't deliver it. So you can see how close it is between success and failure to a certain extent. Not success and failure in terms of money-wise, just in terms of how 2-3 songs can alter everything, if you get what I mean. But we'll get to that. I think you know what I'm talking about, innit?
No.
Stormzy.
Safe. I mean, you dropped that last year, but cool.
Yeah, but it was towards the end.
Yeah, for
Do
you.
you get what I mean? So it's like...
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The anticipation was there.
In that case, then it's probably one of mine as well. But go ahead.
Yes. Third album I've got is this. So I was a massive Pop Smoke fan. So when his album dropped, after he passed, I didn't know what to expect. I thought there was too many cooks. I thought there was too many people getting involved. I didn't like it. I just thought they're going to cut out people he's been with for time, with TJ and everything, which they did. But sonically, all the songs fit. I think they got the features perfect. I think the way they had 50 and Roddy on the Woo was absolutely perfection. The way they picked TJ for Mood Swings, the different tracks, that might be my favorite album of the year. But that's just more because of the fan I am, as opposed to what I look at the album. I think.
Yeah, and what it means as well.
I mean? Yeah, I think that might be. Yeah, so then that one's there. I've said this from the start, and I think when we had the halfway point, I had this album. I've still got Run the Jewels. I don't think if that's still in my top 5. I think the content matter, the lyricism. I think everything at play. I don't think there's another album that really comes close or really beats them lyrically to a certain extent. And that's always been there. That hasn't changed. From the first minute I heard that album, I think we was talking about in the podcast. I said this will end up being in my top 5. My fifth, I didn't know what to go for. This was a tricky one. I don't know if I felt like this was a good year for music, which we'll get into later. But
you don't think?
I don't know if it was in terms of what dropped, or I don't know if it's just me not taking in everything that I could have. Because I feel like it's either a case where enough music hasn't dropped, or so much music dropped that it's impossible to get through. Do you know what I mean?
It's tough. It's really tough.
It's like, how do you get through so many albums in such short time? So I've got a few for 4. So come back to me and I'll tell you.
Fair enough.
Sorry, for 5. I said 4. I've got a few for 5, but I don't know which one to pick yet.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Mine then, and this is an order, so I'm gonna go from 5th to first. Why?
Order, Dewey.
What? Just because I'm organized? Just because I'm organized?
Order, Dewey.
Ah, cool. I mean, there's got to be some kind of order amongst the disorder in this group.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, that bar. All right, cool. So number 5, I've got Pa Sally U, Send Them to Coventry. I think Pa Sally U, minus all the J Hus comparisons and everything, has had one of the strongest years of any debuting UK talent in a very long time.
Do you think I've got a question for you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Do you think he's outgrowing the J Hus comparison?
100% he is.
I thought so.
You listen to him, you only have to listen to him a couple of times and you'll know he's nothing like Hus. They're both Gambian, they both got that twang, but outside of that, they're just completely different artists. And Send Them to Coventry is the proof of that. Like, from Block Boy at the start to Energy at the end, like, it's just like 40 minutes of just, it's just great, man. I just feel like you get a real feel of who he is, where he's from, the obstacles he's had to face, the fact that he got shot and he got in the head and survived. Yeah. And you get
How old is he?
He's 20.
Okay.
You've championed him for a long time. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, I first heard of him late 2018, and then he came through a Frontline in January. Late 2019, sorry. And he came through a Frontline this year, and I just knew this guy was going to be a star. And Send Them to Coventry is like one of the best debut projects I've heard from any of this new generation in a very long time. Like Betty, My Family is one of the tracks of the year. Betty is dope. Frontline, of course. Energy. There's just too many, man. So Pa Sally U, I have to give that to him. Like, easily one of the best UK projects this year for sure. So shout out to Pa Sally U. At number 4, I've got Westside Gun, Pray for Paris. This was just one that I just always went back to. I still think it's a super cohesive album. I feel like he kind of steps into new territory sonically, and in terms of the people he brings in for guests as well. Like you got Tyler on there, you got Joey Badass on there. Obviously you got the usual suspects like the Griselda Gang, you got Rock Marcy, you got Freddie Gibbs and stuff. But I just feel like, yeah, man, he was really in his pocket with this one. Probably like everything around the album, as far as like the features and the production, wows me more than Westside's performance itself. But Westside is the glue sticking all of it together. So I feel like it was a great album just from front to back as well, from a sonic standpoint, from a lyrical standpoint, everything. So, you know, and it was in my mid-year albums of the year as well. So it's very much stayed there. Another album that was in my mid-year that has stayed there and is at number 3 is RTJ4 by Run the Jewels. I just feel like when it was released, it just came at a perfect time, bro. It just spoke to many of the world's problems as far as racism, discrimination, and, you know, just the general feeling of like dismay in the black community. And even outside of that, like Killer Mike is rapping on a whole new level. LP is as well. The production is on point. Like everything is just dope. And it's got some of the tracks of the year on there for me as well. It just came at the right time, and it's going to be one of those albums that we look back on. It's just like, yeah, this is the time capsule of what was going on at that time, and you could listen to it front to back, even when in your old age, and you can still relate to it, and you can still remember where you were when you listened to it. So shout out to Run the Jewels for that one. At number 2, I've got J Hus Big Conspiracy, which for me is the UK album of the year. It dropped in January, and I don't think our album was better in the UK this year. I feel like Hus, coming off the pressure of trying to top Common Sense, gave you something completely different. Like, he didn't give you that many hits, he didn't give you that many bops, but he gave you consciousness. He gave you like revolutionary themes and topics, and he just gave you a more mature Hus, which I just loved. From front to back, from No Denying to Fortune Teller to Cucumber to the tunes of Burna Boy and Coffee, like Press Play.
Is
like
it the best back-to-back UK debut? Like first 2 albums?
It's up there for sure. I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely up there. Hus, man, he's just rapping on a new level. Production, even though he's with the same team more or less, J5 and them, they stepped up their game. Like they just knew that it was time to play. And yeah, man, Hus is just on another level. Like easily one of the most dynamic, unique artists that the UK has ever seen and will ever see. And you know, you got to shout out to him for an amazing sophomore effort.
He might be the best one it's all said and done
of all time
in the UK wise artist.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
We're talking all around, not just rapping, as in an all around artist. Yo, Hus is
he's applying pressure.
Yeah, he's applying pressure.
Yeah,
listen, man. if his next 2 albums are anywhere near his first 2, he's making a case.
And I don't see him slowing down. I honestly don't see Hus slowing down.
Because he's still very young. Sorry, Murray. He's still very young too, man. So I feel like he's only going to get better with it.
And he's smart. He don't do as much. Remember before he was doing so many features. He don't do features now. Seeing Hus is rare now.
Bro, he didn't even promo this album.
Yeah, so seeing Hus now is very rare compared to Hus a few years ago. So now it hits a bit more. And if the music gets better, he's on a ridiculous trajectory. For
sure. Shout out J Hus, man. And at number 1, I've got, and I'm pretty sure you man already know this, it is Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist.
No way.
Yeah, man, 2 titans just joining forces. And you have albums that really change the culture. And then you just have really fucking dope rap albums. And Alfredo is that, man. Like, Freddie Gibbs is right now one of the best rappers going. Alchemist has been proved that he's one of the best producers out. And when they joined forces, it was just a rave, man. It's just from front to back, like it's flawless for me. It's short and sweet. It's to the point. Like Freddie Gibbs is just perfect for Alchemist cinematic production. The features are on point. Everyone came to play. Gibbs is he's just rapping for fun. Alchemist is making beats for fun. And yeah, man, it's just the album that I constantly went back to over and over and over again without fail, and found new things about it, found new references, found new messaging in the lyrics, just found new appreciation of the production. And yeah, man, it was just it's one for the books for sure, man. And it just continues Gibbs's great trajectory, which started with Pinata like 6 years ago all the way to now. So that is my top 5 really. So shout out to everybody for that. Honorable mentions: Nas, King's Disease, Conway from King to a God, Chris Crack, White People Love Algorithms, Shay Lingo, The Worst Generation, and Car, Descendants of Cain. All great albums in their own right that could have made my top 5 and probably deserved it as well. So shout out to all of them, man, as well. So yeah, that's my albums. Boys, did we have any albums that we kind of had high expectations for, but we were somewhat left disappointed?
I didn't have high expectations for this album. I had an expectation, but I just thought it was a piece of shit. G Herbo PTSD. Yeah, because I've never been a G Herbo fan like that.
He's good though.
But I've listened to G Herbo and I appreciate his music. And I listened to his album and I just thought,
Meh.
this ain't it. I just honestly, like, if you hear his last song, he was barring on that last song he dropped. I didn't even think he was capable of barring. But in his last song, when he talked about his court case and stuff, he was really going in. And I thought someone like G Herbo don't have the facilities for that. But and then I listened, and then the album dropped. I wasn't really feeling it. That's the one that disappointed me. Where I was just like, yo, I finally invested time in you after hearing your songs. It's your album, yo. This is your first album when you've now crossed over. This was G Herbo's first real album that's crossed over. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yo, you have to impact people. And it's just like, I wasn't really here for it. Stormzy's one was cut off. When did Stormzy album drop? Was it December?
December last year.
Yeah, so if you count that as towards the 2020, or do you count?
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want.
If you count that as 2020, bro, come on, man.
I mean, yeah, that was just
that album was,
bang average.
Yeah, it was just about a C plus, C minus.
It was a solid C.
It was a solid C. Might be a D. Like, no, I'm not.
I'm not gonna do that to him.
No,
because
it
when
might
he's
be, yeah, me. When you compare it to what Huss followed up with,
he
looks
because
bad.
I feel you, but Vossi Bop, Wiley Flow, Audacity, Heady One. I feel like rapping Stormzy. If he did more rapping, it's a bit like Drake. If he did just a pure rapping album and none of that gospel shit, then he would probably but he would probably
That was wild.
he would probably. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that way.
You hear what I'm saying?
I didn't mean it that way. But
That sounded wild.
if he did less,
You know what I'm saying?
That sounded
I
wild.
didn't mean it that way. But if he did less of that, innit?
Maybe just caught a stray from
Listen,
the
if he did less of that, yeah, then he would probably be upper echelon. But
Yeah.
because he's got to appease to so many different audiences, he's got to appease and tap into different sounds.
That's the two that let me down. Also, Eminem dropped something. I haven't listened to it, but it let me down.
You mentioned that for no reason other than to mention Eminem, and I don't know
Wait,
why.
You said you hadn't listened to it, but it let you down.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Wait, is he your guys?
You're a fool.
You think-
He dropped the deluxe as well, like recently, like this week.
Cool. It disappointed me.
Music to be murdered by a B-side deluxe.
He murdered it.
Only Eminem would drop a B-side deluxe.
Hey, when you got away with being average for so long, you could do what you want.
He's not been average for so long though. We're not gonna get into
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I've only got one disappointing album, and I was torn with this one because I feel like
Here we go.
maybe I shouldn't be disappointed by this, but God bless the dead, Mac Miller, Circles.
You
Swear.
were disappointed by that.
I didn't
real?
I didn't really care for it. Like I feel like he wasn't really rapping. It was more like folky, rocky types sounds, and I just wasn't really there for it, to be honest. Like I don't know what I was expecting from him, because even towards the end of his life, he was experimenting a little bit more, but at least he was still rapping.
Did you like the album prior to it?
100%, loved it. Swimming, but this one, Circles, missed me with it, bro. Missed me with it, and God bless the dead, because I'm a big Mac Miller fan, but yeah, this one just wasn't really hitting it for
Did
me.
they, just because I'm not aware, was Mac Miller's album completely done by him before he passed, or was it a case where there was verses and they just kind of chose how they...
I think it was
Do
a
you know what I
case
mean?
of both. I think he laid down all the verses, and maybe he had overseen the production side of things, but the final result, obviously, he wouldn't have been privy to. So I think with that in mind, maybe that's probably why I feel the way about posthumous albums anyway.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're for the most part unnecessary, but where it's got to be, it's got to be. If with posthumous albums where the artist has at least, let's say, 80% control over how it sounds, then I'll allow it. Like Machiavelli or that sort of thing. But generally, I don't really mess with them. But
Yeah, which is what I said about pop. Like, I don't usually like when there's too many pots in the pan or
Yeah.
too many chefs on burner. Do you know what I mean? Like,
For
kitchen
sure.
Table. But I guess that's two examples, because with me with pop, I think it worked, and with you with Mac, you thought it didn't. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So you can always go one or two.
it could go either way. It could go either way. And I really wanted to like it, but I just couldn't, man. I couldn't. But salute to Mac Miller, man. Like I'm always gonna listen to his music anyway. Pete, you got any?
Yeah. And this one's a bit of a tricky one, just because I've seen how much critical acclaim it's gotten.
Here we
Most people like it. I just happen to be one of the ones that don't. Elzai, he dropped what's the name? I can't remember.
7 times up, 8 times down, or
Yeah.
something.
I just wasn't feeling it, man. And I'm a massive fan of Elzai, always have been. But on this particular album, his rhyming is just impeccable as always, but it was just the beats. I just wasn't feeling the beats, man. And a lot of people enjoy the beats, but for me, I just wasn't feeling it. And I didn't have like expectations for the album. I try and like lessen the expectation when it comes to people releasing albums, but when I heard it, I just was like, I'm good. I don't necessarily need to listen to this again. So that's probably one of my more disappointing albums this year. Common dropped an EP which I just wasn't feeling either. I think it's called A Beautiful Revolution, I think, part 1.
Very common name.
Yeah. I just wasn't feeling it from the beat side of things again. Jadakiss also dropped an album that I wasn't feeling. And the Locks, they dropped a disappointing album as well.
They definitely dropped a disappointing album.
And I was more disappointed with that just because like we've been waiting so long for a Locks album, you know, and what they do is whenever like they go periods without dropping an album, they talk up, you know, the next release sort of thing. And I know a lot of artists do that, but in particular, because I'm big fans of the Locks, they do that quite a bit. But yeah,
It just didn't hit, bro.
Yeah, it just didn't hit,
I hate that.
I only listened to the Griselda tune with
that was
the Locks.
fire. That was fire. But yeah, I just weren't feeling it, man.
With Elzai though, I feel like the production wasn't anything to shout about, but at least it was like solely produced by one producer, which I prefer. And even though it wasn't groundbreaking, and even though his lyrics weren't groundbreaking, it was like a solid album. But I understand with having high expectations for someone like Elzai, as Peter does, I can understand why it would fall by the wayside a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm a massive Elzai fan too, so it didn't hurt, but it's kind of like, damn, sort of thing, innit?
Could have been better.
Yeah, it could have been better. But, you know, I'll look forward to the next project. Just because I didn't personally like it doesn't mean it was a whack album. So, yeah, big up Elzai. He's still one of the best rappers around. So, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Cool, guys. Let's move on then to our favourite tracks of the year. Mohammed, would you like to start?
Hey, man. So my favourite track of the year, I'm going to have to go with, even though, obviously, a lot of whatever's going on and whatever he's done or whatever people are saying, whatever happens, we find out. I'm still going to go with Dachavelli, I don't know. I mean, Tion Wayne, I don't know with Dachavelli in it. And Stormzy, I think that captured the UK at that point. I think there was no bigger song. I think from the teaser where they used, like, what was it, the first 4 bars of Stormzy to show as a retaliation to Chip's diss. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was, let's get ready to go. He's going to be barring. I think Stormzy went crazy. The No Trim Stormzy just showing that he's ready was sick. I think Dachavelli killed his verse. I think Tion Wayne embodied the whole song. I reckon you don't get a bigger song than that in the UK other than My Family. I think it's out of them two. I mean,
that's definitely up for debate, but I feel you.
I reckon it's them two and that's it.
There's definitely more.
You think there's another one?
Boy, Digga D.
I don't think that's bigger than I don't know.
On Deck, Abracadabra. Those two are definitely. IC3, Gets and Skepta. I say all this, but none of these are in my top 5. But yeah,
I feel you, man. So I'll go with. I've got I Don't Know there. I've got Gifted.
Roddy
and Roddy.
Corday and Roddy.
And I fuck with them, man. I think for new artists, for them to get on, I don't think people understand from our generation how big it was, because I don't think it's arguably the best lyricist of that generation, and arguably the hottest in that generation, colliding, which is big and they've never made a song together. So I'm just saying for that generation, I don't know why you're rolling your
For Peter's generation. For Peter.
No,
it's not even that generation, it's Peter.
Yeah, I didn't even roll my eyes.
We're addressing Peter.
Eyes, bro. No
I didn't roll my eyes.
Roll out it, man.
I didn't roll my eyes though. I didn't roll my eyes.
Them cars from Cuba and people rapping about nothing but
I didn't roll my
shirts,
eyes.
Fam. I'm irritated now. Now
and chinchillas.
Yeah, chinchillas with a little. It's annoying, but anyway.
I didn't roll my eyes.
Fair enough. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. I feel like for them to me, it was a big. I've fucked with that song a lot. I've got. Let me just double check. I've got Nipsey and Big Sean, Deep Reverence. I think Nipsey's verse was absolutely amazing. I think Big Sean played his part beautifully. I think he knew exactly what he needed to do on a song with Nipsey. So yeah, man, that was one of my picks for my favourite song of the year.
Love that.
Hey man, what can
I wanted more from that Nipsey and Big Sean song though. I think I
wanted
more Nipsey and less
You were initially
Big Sean.
very gassed by it.
I wanted, because of Nipsey. Nipsey's delivery is just flawless to me. But I wanted more Nipsey and less Big Sean. I think that was my issue.
A little bit disrespectful, but I feel you.
A little bit.
But I get what you're saying. But
I
think for me, hearing anything with Nipsey in it was always going to make me feel away.
Yeah, for sure.
I've also got one more. Sorry, I'm just trying to load it up now. I've also got one more, which was Flux Capacitor. I think Jay absolutely floating on that song. Honestly, for me, you could pick any one of that song from Jay Electronica's album. At least 7 of them you could pick, and they will enter your top 5. So yeah, man, that's my 5.
Feel you, bro.
Nice little range. Nice little mix.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I'll go up next. My tracks of the year are very much reflective of the fact that I prefer B-sides and like album songs rather than like actual singles. So again, they're ranked. Ooh. Number 5.
The rest of us.
Yeah, for real. Number 5, I've got Ooh La La by Run the Jewels. It's just a great song, man. The sample of Nice and Smooth. Killer Mike absolutely killed it with his first verse. LP as well. DJ Premier scratches, the production, all that stuff, man. The piano loops. It's just great, man. It's one of the songs of the year in terms of rap, anyway. Number 4, I've got Doe and Damani by Conway the Machine. I just love the fact that it's like a 5-minute song. Half of it is produced by Alchemist. Half of it is produced by Derringer. And they both have like a really dope piano sequence. And that's very much the basis of each beat. And like, I just love that shit. And very cinematic. And, you know, Conway's just rapping on there. It's one of my favorite tracks on his album From King to a God anyway. So, you know, it's just one of those songs that just on repeat for me all the time. Like, whether it's night, day, morning, evening, I'm just bumping that song and it's just great. At number 3, I've got My Family, Pass Aliu and Back Row G.
My Family.
Which became the anthem for you, man, in Sweden.
Which became the anthem from us in Sweden. Our good friend Zav, shout out to Zav. He basically made a video of us like walking from one location to another location, themed by My Family, which is really dope. And it was just one of those tunes that whenever we go abroad, we always have one song.
Yeah.
And My Family was that song. The chemistry between Pass Aliu and Back Row G, they're both absolute nutters when it comes to the bars and it comes to the lyrics. Back Row G has probably got the most iconic line of this year when he says, "Tell my babes off her wig, we're going to war." Load up the clip. So shout out to Back Row G for that. And yeah, man, Fanatics beat, like, pussy where you want from me, pussy I don't own nobody. Like, there's just too many quotables in that song for it to not be in your top 5. It's definitely in top 5 of like, maybe even top 3 of the UK this year. And it's just an amazing song all round. So that's number 3. Number 2, I've got Look at Me, Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist. This is just like a really cinematic song. It's very much a great example of less is more. Like, Freddie Gibbs doesn't do a whole lot of rapping on it, but the rapping he does do is on point, and Alchemist is just Alchemisting, really, on the beat. So, you know, amazing song. Like, one of the better deep cuts on Alfredo. And at number 1, George Bondo by Westside Gun, featuring Conway and Benny. I think Benny's verse, one of the verses of the year. I think
he killed that.
But Benny killed it.
Yeah,
Conway killed it. The production, like, I love the piano sequence. I love the drum patterns. Like, Derringer and Beat Butcher, man. I feel like they could.
Beat Butcher from the UK.
Yeah, I feel like they could resuscitate a lot of careers. Like, a lot of careers. Yeah. Like, that same production. Like, any guest feature on a Griselda or Griselda affiliate track that's produced by those guys, I feel like they could do that shit, man, for sure. I'm thinking mainly of like Method Man on Lemon. Yeah. If he does an album with them, like, maybe not a classic, but it's gonna be his best album for sure. So yeah, man, an incredible song, and it's the one I had on repeat like pretty much all year, and that's basically what my criteria was, like, based on replay value, more so than anything else. Yeah. So shout out to everybody involved, man.
It's a dope list.
Peter.
Yeah. This one was a bit of a tricky one for me, man, just because my memory's awful and there were just so many songs that I really enjoyed this year. So I'm not going to say these are my favourite 5, but these were amongst the 5 that I played a lot. So I've got Benny the Butcher, New Streets on the album with Hit Boy. I said Big Boy. Hit Boy. Yeah, it was just a dope tune, man. Not really much to say there. J Electronica, Never Ending Story with Jay-Z. Jay-Z's verse on that was amazing. I feel like both of them were really speaking spiritually on that tune. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just touching me on that. And then Black Thought versus Everybody. That was probably my favorite rap song of the year. He was just talking crud on that. And it was just another example of the fact that he just raps better than everyone, man. Honestly, I just don't even know what to say. He just raps better than everybody all the time. And it's kind of getting jarring at this point. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is it?
Yeah, it's just jarring, isn't it? Because it's like, all right, cool, another Black Thought song where he's rapping better than everyone.
We know what you're about.
Yeah, sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just really enjoyed it, man.
So pretentious.
Bruv.
So pretentious.
Can you believe this guy?
Rapping better than everyone.
Whatever, man. I've got Freddie Gibbs, Scotty Beam, Just because I love Scotty Beam, the
Who
person.
don't love Scotty
Shout out to
Beam?
shout out to Scotty Beam.
And
Scotty
I just
Beam.
thought the song was very fitting for somebody so beautiful.
She should have been in the video though.
100% she should have been in the video.
What was the logic behind her not being in the video?
Who knows?
She might not have been available.
Yeah, who knows?
She's absolutely beautiful.
But once you make a song called Scotty Beam
She
and
has
you're
to
planning
be.
to make a
She has to
video,
be in a video.
you
She
need
has
to
to
have
be.
that in your plan.
Yeah, 100%.
Even if just for a bit, she has to be in it somehow.
Yeah,
somewhere.
100%. But I just love the song, man. Loved Ross's verse. Loved Freddie Gibbs. He just floated all over it. So did Ross. And it's a Ross's type of beat too. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't too shocking that he would be the feature that would be on the song. So yeah, it was just another dope tune. And then my last track in my top 5 is by Ransom, and it's called Gone Girl, produced by Nicholas Craven. Yeah, just another fire tune off Director's Cut 2 EP. Heavily soul sampled. And yeah, man, Ransom's storytelling on that was just amazing, man. He's talking about karma, basically, in a metaphoric sense. And yeah, check it out, man. It's just a dope tune. So yeah, man, that kind of rounds out my top 5.
Deep cuts.
Hey, man.
Deep cut gang over here.
Yeah, man.
Were there any tunes that you guys heard that were maybe like really big tunes, but you didn't understand why?
I mean, everything that's mainstream.
Well, big tunes, but you don't know why.
Don't do that.
I didn't even buy it. No, don't buy it. I beg you, don't buy it. Don't buy it, please. Let's let this guy rock.
Let them rock. Like he even listens to the
He
mainstream.
don't know what goes mainstream. He's a talker.
Yeah, he don't know.
If I ask this guy to name 4 mainstream songs, he won't know.
He's a
My
perpetrator.
family.
He's a perpetrator.
Pussy where you want from, man.
That's the only one, and he's hiding. See how that came from chest
It
as
hurt
well.
him to sing
That
it.
came from chest as
It
well, because that was the
hurt
only
him
one
to
he
sing
knew.
it.
That was the only one he knew.
Man.
I'm
Big
trying to
up,
think.
big
I don't
up
know,
Xavi
son.
Art, man.
I don't know. I genuinely don't have a clue.
It was just a question.
What about you?
I don't have any right now. I don't think. In terms of like mainstream
haven't
rap,
rinsed the
yeah,
DDG
mainstream rap was kind of weird this year. I don't think it had the best year, mainstream rap. Whereas underground rap had an amazing, quote unquote underground rap
100%.
had an amazing year. Mainstream rap, there wasn't really much that dropped,
Which leads to my prediction in 2021.
which we'll get to
Save
later.
it.
Which we'll get
Yeah,
to
I'm not
later.
gonna save it.
But yeah, mainstream rap. I mean, underground rap was definitely
It ran
kicked
it
mainstream,
this year.
kicked the
It ran
mainstream's
it.
ass.
It ran it. You can tell by the Grammy nominations.
Why didn't you direct the question at me, though?
I mean, it was a question to everybody.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought
I
there
mean,
was a
you
reason why you
answered
didn't.
it.
I thought there was a reason why you didn't direct
Peter,
it at me.
do you want
You
the
asked Mo, you didn't ask
It
me.
was a genuine question.
Do you want the question?
You
Do
answered it
Ask,
anyway.
ask me the question.
No.
You
Yeah, but
answered it anyway.
Yeah, but don't ask him. We're not asking him the question. I'm not baiting.
I asked him.
No, don't ask him again. He's childish. He wants you know what he wants to do. Who listens to mainstream? I hate this bastard.
In his fur coat as well, like shut your bitch ass up.
It's the he tries to do as well. People don't know this criminal on WhatsApp.
For real, bro. Thinks he's because he's got the dreads up in a bun. He thinks he's better than someone.
He thinks he's better than us, bro.
So you might want to disrespect me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Shut
but-
up your ass, bro.
Hey, what's next?
So up next, we have got our favorite rappers of the year.
Top 5.
Top 5. It's only going to be top 5.
All right, cool.
Did you make a top 10?
Yeah, what top 10 list? Then?
Who makes a top 10?
Me.
Pete, try to summarize like to 5.
Overly prepped.
Oh, evidently. In that case, then, you can go first.
Cool. So I've got Benny the Butcher.
Is this in order? Or
No order. So Benny the Butcher, Freddie Gibbs, Black Thought, Ransom, and I'm gonna say, damn, that's a tough one for me, man.
Who's it out of?
That 5th spot, that's a tough one.
Who's it out of? Are you juggling? How many are you juggling?
I'm gonna say Westside Gun.
any rationale behind your choices?
I mean, I said earlier, Black Thought just raps better than everybody whenever he raps, and he's had a lot of features this year, and they've just been impeccable displays of lyricism, man. So anytime he's being featured heavily, I just don't doubt that he's going to be rapping at a high level, and he did that a lot this year. So that's why he's in that. Benny the Butcher kind of gives me the same feel. I don't think I've ever heard a Benny the Butcher whack verse. Same with Conway as well. Them Griselda boys, they're different, man. They just stay hungry. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like every verse that they spit just sounds good. It's just high quality, no matter the type of beat it is. It just sounds really good. So that's why I've got Benny and Conway in there. Westside Gun, he dropped 2 albums, in which, in my personal opinion, probably aren't even as good as the other albums in his catalogue, but I feel like he's single-handedly responsible for where Griselda's at. And because of how I guess prominent he's been this year, I can't not put him in that top 5. he's had a good year. And then my fifth one was Ransom. Did I say Ransom? I said Ransom, right?
You said Ransom.
Yeah. He dropped 3 quiet EPs that were all just flawless, rapping at a very high level. So I just want to, give him his credit. So that's why I've got him in my top 5. But honorable mentions, I've got Matt Comey,
Of course you do.
Willie the Kid, Rock Marciano, Stove God Cooks.
Very Peter choices.
It's all Peter choices. Boy.
Very Peter choices.
So yeah, man, that rounds out my top 5.
Peter-esque.
That's it, man.
Salute to the honorable mentions as well.
Yeah, man, big up.
Good year for sure. Very much reflective of how much of a good year that section of rap has had as well.
For sure.
For sure.
100%.
Lyricism is back, bitch.
It'll
That bitch wasn't aimed at anybody. I just said it.
For real, man.
Mohammed.
You go. I want to hear yours.
Oh, okay, fine. Cool. So yeah, mine one is a mixture of UK. Well, actually, it's more UK than US, surprisingly. And again, it's in order. Number 5, I've got Novelist. I feel like Novelist needs more praise because, especially this year, he's dropped a bit like on a Ransom tip. He's dropped like 3, 4, maybe even 5 like very good EPs, and that ranges between rapping EPs and instrumental EPs because he's a producer as well. For those that don't know who Novelist is, he is a London-based rapper producer from the Lewisham side of Ways. And yeah, man, he's a grime MC who's just been doing it really at a high level since he first came into the scene in like 2014. And this year he started doing this thing where he basically drops something every week. I don't know if he dropped something every week, but he basically dropped like 4 or 5 EPs, and they're all of a high level. And his production's at a high level, his rapping's at a high level, and I just feel like he is, for the grime scene anyway, he's like one of the new generation's like best, if not the best in the new generation. So he definitely deserves his just due, and I hope he continues. And he's still very young. He's like, 23? So he's going to be here for a long, long time. Yeah. So shout out to Novelist. At number 4, I've got Conway the Machine. I feel like, even though Westside Gun is responsible for all of Griselda's success, Conway surprised me this year. Even though I knew he could rap, like, he's just been rapping so well this year on such a consistent basis that it's very much surprised me. And when I first listened to Griselda, I always thought, who's better, Benny or Conway? For a long time, I thought it was Benny. I think this year has swayed me towards Conway. From his album King to a God, and even the project he did with Big Ghost and Alchemist as well. Like, he's just been so consistent. And yeah, man, I just feel like there's been few that have rapped as well as him this year. So he definitely deserves a mention. Number 3, I've got Gets. Even though he hasn't dropped an album this year, he has easily been, in my mind anyway, the UK's MVP, because he's dropped some of its best singles, from Mozambique to IC3. He dropped a tune like this week called Proud Family, which is fucking sick.
He left Earth this year.
year, and he is only getting better with age. He's like a fine wine.
Every feature he was in, boy, he killed.
Exactly. And I'm not going to talk too much about Gets because he goes into one of my predictions for next year. But Gets has just been rapping at such a high level this year. And, man, it's scary, man. It's scary how good he's getting. Like, he's always been really, really good. But, yeah, man, he's crazy with it. So, he's a number 3. Number 2, Parsaliu. Again, he's just had an incredible year. And he's just been, again, like I said, when it comes to albums and stuff, he has been, as far as, like, UK debutants have gone, like, he's had one of the strongest years I've ever seen, and long may it continue. Like, from the singles to the project, like, there's big things ahead for that guy. So shout out to Parsaliu for what's been an incredible year.
Salute to him.
And at number 1, I've got Freddie Gibbs for just continuing to wow me with his beat choices, with his rapping, with the fact that he's been able to drop since Pinata 6 years ago consistently great to amazing albums. And long may that continue. He's probably going to be in my top 5 current rappers for a long time yet as well. And if he carries on, then maybe he might make top 10 for me of all time. So we'll see. But shout out to Freddie Gibbs and shout out to all the rappers I've mentioned.
Hey, man.
Mohammed?
Cool. So me, I don't have it in order because it's me.
Am I the only organised one?
In Peter's defense, he had a top 10.
But that wasn't in order.
Yeah, he's all over the place. You're right.
I'm saying.
So my one, I'll keep it short and sweet. I
wonder why.
wonder why, but hey, man, can I say one at a timer? 5. Well, not 5, but one I'm gonna go with is Killer Mike. I feel like if you've got the best album of the year with me, for me, and I base the reason for your album being the album of the year for me is based on lyricism, then you've got to be in part of my favorite rappers of the year category. Do you know what I mean? If it's a different reason compared to others, where others might be more sentimental and yours is more based on the art of rap, then you've got to be my top 5 rappers of the year. So I've got Killer Mike there. I've got J-Elect here, just off the fact that he gave me 2 projects. You could have given me 1.5 and I would have been alright with it. I could have cared less if you're nodding yet, if you're shaking your head.
He didn't really.
Now, this guy could have given me a 5-song EP and he would have been in my rap.
He didn't really give us 2 projects though, did
What?
he? He didn't really give us 2
Hey, what
projects.
can I say, fam? I'm hungry.
The hackers gave us 1 project.
Bro, I'm hungry. What do you want me to do?
I feel you.
If this guy could have given me a 6-song EP and I would have put him in my album rap of the year. So J-Luc's got to be there just for that reason there alone. I've got Huss. I feel like Being Conspiracy, for me, is hands down the album of the year in the UK. It's up there with the albums worldwide at this point now, and I feel like there's such a big gap, and I honestly feel like Huss is number 1, and I feel like the gap is as big as it's ever been talent-wise between Huss number 1 and whoever's number 2. I don't think there's ever been a gap that big in UK. It's always whether it's been Kano and someone right next to him, or Stormzy, someone's right next to him, Dave, someone's right. I feel like just talent-wise, I think Huss is eclipsed so many people. It's a joke, and I don't know if it's me talking at the in a moment, but I do feel like there's a big talent.
It's definitely warranted.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's a big gap. Like, Huss ain't gonna let you down. So I've got Huss there. I've got Nas, of the fact that I fucked with King's Disease so much. I've got Nas there as well. And 5th, this just for sheer emotional reasons, I've got Pop Smoke. I feel like you guys know I was singing Pop Smoke's praises before he passed. You knew I've been singing Pop Smoke for a long time. Me and you went mad when it came on. Where did we go to? Recess. And you remember our reaction?
Peter didn't understand
Peter
that.
looked at us like we were on drugs.
That was this time last year, I
That
feel
was
like.
this-
Yeah, because I'd never heard that song
you
before,
looked at
man.
us
So
like,
I
what
was
is
like,
going
yo,
on?
what is happening here? I saw
Yeah.
everyone going
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, yo, have I been under a rock? Like, what's
Yes.
going on?
Yes.
Well, you know
And
you
you want
have.
him to come to you for what's the mainstream song? I hate you, fam. Yeah, so it's like I was a massive pop fan. So it's like when I found out that happened, it was like fuck. And I'm glad that album was what it was, and yeah, he ended up being in my top 5 rappers of the year. So yeah, that's my list.
Feel you. Do we have a 5 wackest rappers of the year?
Oh, man.
Wackest?
Oh God.
Yeah,
Here we
I-
go.
I-
Peter's just gonna name all the
Nah, bro, I
dialogues of
don't even
mainstream
have a
rap.
list. I don't
Cole
even
didn't
have
have
a
a
list for
great
the
year.
It
wackies.
doesn't even matter.
Wackest or just dumbest?
Wackest.
Because if I want to call Wack dumb, I'll just say he had a dumb year.
Who had a dumb year?
Cole, with the whole no name thing to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, true. Oh, yeah, that happened this year, didn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. A lot of people forget Cole, Lil Wayne with the Donald Trump thing, Kanye with the Trump thing.
Damn. A lot of shit happened this year.
Tory with the.
Oh, shit, yeah,
There's been a lot of dumb people this year.
Damn.
Swarms.
What happened to Swarms? What Swarms do?
Remember he crashed that Ferrari?
For that, he's a dumb rapper.
Yeah, fam,
Feel
there's
you.
just been bare dumb rappers,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, me tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, listen, you're right. All right.
Stormzy for that album.
Obviously, Dutch and Octavian as well.
Oh, man, yeah.
No, they're past dumb.
I mean, yeah, they're past dumb,
they're-
but
they're-
for argument's sake,
Yeah, they're up there, boy.
for sure.
They've taken that crown, boy. Both of them. They can share it between them two.
I don't look at Kanye like any different. I feel like he kind of lost his powers with me a couple of years
Kanye
ago.
now is a
Yeah,
musical
he-
genius, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I don't look at Kanye the same.
We just look at Kanye as a musical
Yeah,
genius, and
man.
that's it. We don't look at you.
Yeah, that's it, man.
In that case, then let's move on to our final evaluation of the year, and well, actually, no, it's not even an evaluation of this year; it's an evaluation of next year. So we're gonna get into our predictions for 2021.
Let's get it cracking.
Do you want to do
Let's do our old ones first.
one first?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Mo had an idea, a stupendous idea, to basically look back on our prediction from last year for this year and see how far we came along. Now, Mohammed,
Yeah.
what prediction for 2020 did you have?
So my prediction was Kendrick was going to drop an album.
Is
And
that
in,
right?
In my defense, I just want the record to show.
Fuck your defense, but go ahead.
Mohammed thinks he was right. However, I was not aware of COVID.
What does it have to do with
can't
anything?
blame me for COVID. Name me 5 top 10 mainstream rappers that dropped albums. Like you said,
I
it's
mean,
been
Drake
quiet.
dropped a
Drake
Drake,
don't count.
Drake dropped them, whatever that was.
Drake would drop an album if in the Sahara Desert if he could. He's just like he's that.
COVID
That's
is not an excuse for Kendrick not dropping an
I
album.
think
bro.
COVID is an excuse for mainstream rappers not dropping an album.
No.
And I genuinely believe if it was not for COVID,
Hogwash.
why would Kendrick drop an album? Then he can't tour. Then he can't go on radio shows. There's not a lot you can do. to drop an album right now.
Hogwash.
Kendrick's not a heavy tourer anyway.
Hogwash.
He barely toured.
No, I'm just saying.
He barely toured Damn.
I'm just saying.
Poppycock.
I'm just saying. He was on a media tour when he dropped Damn. He was. He done a
Poppycock.
media tour. He done some
Media
sort of
tour.
He done. It's enough. You barely done that with COVID. I'm just saying we don't know if COVID affected it.
Yo,
Like, if he drops one in-
you're reaching, man.
If he drops one in 2021, I mean,
You're reaching, bro.
You're Michael Jordan when his arms extend in Space Jam.
are you might not falling for it?
You're reaching, bro.
Absolutely not, bro.
It didn't make
Except
sense.
you miss instead of Jordan.
It didn't make sense.
No,
I'll take it back.
Kendrick didn't drop an album because Kendrick was Kendricking.
I hold
He
that.
only had one verse this
You're
year.
reaching
I
like
hold that.
Stretch Armstrong, bro.
Hey, I see what you done there.
He had one
Before we
verse
get to
this
your-
year.
We got your predictions to come, sir. Now I'll take
I
that.
barely have predictions.
I'll take
So
that.
yeah, you were wrong
take
basically.
that.
But that's fine because it's Kendrick, innit?
Yeah, I'll take
So
that.
we'll wait. I
guess
was more than happy to wait anyway.
It was more in hope.
Yeah,
Oh,
with, the amount,
obviously.
with the amount of music that comes out, I'm good to wait, man.
All right. So
Innit?
my one was an L.
It was. And Peter, what was your prediction?
I think I said that it might be the beginning of the end for Drake. I don't think this year is a true reflection on that prediction at all, just because he had a quiet year. I think he stopped doing. He wasn't as prevalent. He wasn't on every tune. He wasn't on every hit song this year. So based on that, I don't think I was all the way wrong. But I think in a later episode I did say that I might have been bugging, but
You did.
I did
Yeah.
say yeah. So I don't necessarily still acknowledge that thought, but he had a quiet year.
Did he drop Tootsie Slide?
I was
this
just
year?
about to say that. Literally.
Yeah,
that
he
was
dropped
did,
Tootsie Slide
but
this year.
that didn't do nothing.
I mean,
Your Tootsie Slide was massive.
Was it massive?
Tootsie Slide
it was
I
massive.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You'd be in your house.
Yeah,
But that
it
song
was
was
massive. It was
massive.
massive. It was
someone's-
massive. Depending on how you feel about Laugh Now, Cry Later as well, like that's a big tune as well. Like, of course,
Grease.
and Popstar,
Yeah.
and he dropped his demo Dark this Paradise
And
bullshit whatever.
And the Heady song was this year as well.
Which one?
The Heady song.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Like, yo,
So,
stop
Pete,
it,
you're
stop
wrong.
it,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
Pete, you're
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, alright, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
wrong.
save.
Don't make me have to ride by high schools.
Arguably one of the verses of the year.
I hate
As
that
much as I
verse.
hate to say it,
I hate that
No,
verse.
he killed that.
Yo, I
man.
hate that verse.
He killed
I
that.
can't even lie. I'm not a fan of it.
I've grown to it. I've grown
No,
to it.
yeah, I've grown on
I'm
that as
honestly
well.
not
He
a fan
killed
of that
that.
verse. It's like, come on, bro, that's not you. People, you got a tattoo of Skepta. Like, relax.
He ain't got a tattoo of
He's got a
Skepta.
tattoo of BBK.
There you go. Having a tattoo of Skepta would have been absolutely insane.
Yeah, because having a tattoo of BBK is
Yeah, but it's not a man, is it? It's a logo.
Alright.
I for you though.
I'm not for it, but anyway.
Yeah, it's whatever.
So we agree Pete was all the way bugging.
Yeah, he was all the way wrong, for sure. But that's fine. As far as me, I had a couple. At first, I said there was going to be more UK, US collabs, which I was kind of right. Skepta collabed with Kid Cudi, Drake collabed with a couple UK drill producers. As I mentioned, Lord Apex and V-Don and Westside Gun collabed as well. So I guess I was kind of right. But I definitely feel like the US is acknowledging the UK a lot more. So even though that's going to be like a slow and steady process, it's a step in the right direction. And obviously it's going to create good moments. Like the Skepta Kid Cudi song, like I'll never listen to Kid Cudi, but it was like all over the TL and like people were impacted by that song. So that says something. So I was kind of right on that. Glass half empty, half full.
Yeah, who was it again? That TikTok song.
Which one?
When first lockdown, and then I think Baby jumped on it. Not Keisha Becky. That was a big song. I forgot how it went.
But Don't Rush?
Don't Rush.
Yeah,
Baby jumped
Young
on
T
that,
and
right?
Bugsy.
Yeah, the Baby jumped on that song. I think it was either the Baby or Little.
Yeah, it was the baby.
Yeah, the Baby jumped on that song as well.
Yes, for sure. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, which stands to your point.
There's
You-
that as
yeah,
well.
You definitely won that one.
Okay, cool.
I've got you a W on that.
All right, I'll take that one. I also said that Royce the 5'9" would drop a great album, which I feel like I got right. Obviously, that's subjective, but you know, I'm sure other people will argue that. But I really enjoyed the album, and I feel like from the Book of Ryan, which you know, obviously is probably one of his best, if not his best. Following up was always going to be hard, but I feel like conceptually, production-wise, rapping-wise, the allegory ticks all the boxes. So I feel like he dropped a great successor to that, to Book of Ryan. So shout out to Royce for that. I also said that a couple UK rappers would grow in stature, namely Slow Tie, Koji Radical, and Octavian. I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Slow Tie has definitely grown in stature. He's prepping for his new album that's I think is dropping next year. You know, he's collabs with like James Blake, and you know he's recognized in that way. So he's definitely grown in stature. Koji Radical, I feel like every other month or every month he's dropping a new song or new projects, and it's just elevated to a whole new level. Like I'm telling you, man, shit changed when he started rapping on beat. I'm telling you, it started changing, and then he just started dropping. He started getting better, and yeah, man, he's definitely grown in stature, and his mobile performance proved that. So shout out to them. And another prediction I had was also that Nicki Minaj won't retire, which I kind of got right because she was featured in a couple songs. I think she dropped a couple singles as well this year, so that's not retiring, is it? So
you went free for free.
Yeah, I was free for free.
Oof.
I was free for free.
You're shooting that MJ percentage, bro.
Listen, man, I read the game in a different way.
I salute to you.
What can I say?
You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for real.
Cool. That's a Wash reference, but I feel you.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I mean, that was like 50 years ago.
But he's got the most points ever in the NBA, so I'm saying you don't miss.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
So let's move on then to our predictions for 2021.
I reckon that whatever happened this year is going to be total opposite this next year. I think the mainstream album releases are going to be ridiculous. I think there's going to be an album after album after album. I think it's going to be the most music we've ever consumed in a year. It's about to be what's happening. Because, depending on COVID, by the way, I think if COVID early 2021 isn't really a thing anymore and we all get a vaccine, I think it's going to be a ridiculous amount of music that gets rolled out.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen anyway.
Regardless of COVID.
Yeah, man. Right. I think so. I think for this year, especially the bigger names, they probably saw it. They may have seen it as an excuse to just like lay low, but it's coming, man.
Yeah, there's been a few.
We already
songs,
know that.
not too many compared to before.
How do you man consume music though? Do you still have time to sit with it, or do you feel like one listen and then come back to it and then jump on the next thing? Because me personally, I find that if I'm like obviously for the podcast,
it depends
I have to listen to a lot more.
Yeah.
But podcasts aside, I like to sit with albums, so that's why I don't catch everything. I catch things a lot later.
I think it depends on the artist. For me personally,
yeah.
If it's an artist I care about, I want to sit there and listen. If it's an artist that, alright, cool, so-and-so's going out, like Big Sean's got an album. I'm not really, I will digest that guy to work.
I feel like
do you get what I mean?
Something's in the air though, man, and I've been saying this for a while. Something's not quite right with the amount of music that's being put out, the amount of music that we're forced to consume.
Too much or too little?
Too much.
I think it's going to get worse next year.
I can't quite put my finger on it, I don't know what it's called, but something is happening. And it's been happening for a few years where there's just so much music that we will have to consume. I don't know if it's because of the technology age, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't, it feels like something is different, where we just don't have that much time to consume, to sit with an album until we have to jump on the next thing. And maybe that's a personal thing, I don't know, but that's what it feels like.
I agree.
There's definitely way too much music out there. There's way too many artists out there. There's way too many people dropping EPs or mixtapes. You also got to remember that certain artists are dropping multiple projects a year as well. Griselda, Boldy James, Ransom, bare people. So there's that as well. For me, it's a one listen thing, and then if I'm moved by it, I'll go back to it and then just move on to the next one, because I'm trying to consume as much music as possible, because I feel like in my spare time I might not listen to as much music as I probably should. So
are we doing the artists a disservice because they take God knows how long to produce these albums for us to just give it one listen, and then if we hear something that interests us on that one listen and come back to it? That sounds harsh.
Nah. Charge it to the game. Charge it to the game.
I told you, it depends on who it is.
And it depends on the type of fan you are. Exactly. Depends on the type of fan you are. Like, you might enjoy more of an album than I do, and you might want to go back to an album more than I do. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on the fan. Like, some fans are more like surface level, and some fans want a deeper connection with said album. So it very much depends on where you stand. And just because you might move on to another album very quickly doesn't mean you don't have a connection with the album you'd previously listened to. So it very much depends. But yeah, man, there's way too much music out, man. Way too much.
I'm not gonna sit there and try to decipher a Big Sean album, bro.
Nah, there's no
guy to work, fam.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean?
There's no need.
Whereas a J Electronic, I want to sit there and really.
Some music is just background music, innit? And exactly.
No disrespect, but
whatever grabs you will grab you.
But I think next year is going to be a ridiculous amount of music that gets consumed.
I just want to. I want to slow down, man.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. That's
I
why.
feel like years ago I used to sit with music a lot more, but I feel like in like this year particularly, I just haven't sat with rap albums like I would want to. I think other genres of music is a lot easier to, because with like R&B, for example, or like a jazz album, you don't necessarily, you can hear it without listening, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't have to really concentrate. But on rap albums, I like to consume
core of it is
like,
the lyricism.
concepts, the lyrics, the flows, like what's being conveyed. And I feel like this year, for some of these albums, I haven't really been able to like that. Maybe I've given them like 2-3 listens tops, and I'm usually more than that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think going into next year, I want to slow down as far as like my listenership of these albums for sure.
Do you think it's also the type of year it was? Because you lot said that this year was more underground, that you're forced to take your time with it more. Whereas if it's a mainstream album or popular artist, you don't need to sit with it so long. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's the opposite. I think because the underground was releasing so many quality,
You've got to sit with it a bit more.
I feel like I was being rushed to
Okay.
to make sure I checked
The only reason I say that is because I thought you might want to hear it more than you would want to hear a popular person dropping that album. Does that make sense?
album, for example, I didn't get to sit with as long as I sat with Nas's album.
I see what you're saying.
Just because it was all back to back to back to back.
I thought it would be,
so it's difficult to catch everything.
I see what you're saying.
So yeah, I just want to slow down.
I'm just talking from a mainstream level next year. I'm just saying from a mainstream level, I think it's going to get to a point where summertime or April, May, June, it's going to be a release like every other week of someone that is of some
Even
kind
if
of
that's the case, I'm still going to try and like blind myself to some of it. Unless it's like a major artist, I'm going to try and like just like be deaf and blind to it, just so that I can just slow down. Because that's how you get anxiety, bro. When you feel like you got to catch up with all these albums coming out, that's how you start building anxiety. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, just for like peace of mind, bro, I want to like slow down.
As much as I want to slow down, there's also this desire to want to listen to like the things that, you know, might pique my interest. So there's always going to be that desire. And this year has taught me that, you know, you don't have to listen to everything as soon as it releases. Like The Allegory, for example, that dropped in like March or April, and I only just got to it in this December. So like, there's no reason for you to have to feel like you have to listen to something as soon as it comes out, unless it's something that really piques your interest. Like Past Value, I listened to that the day it dropped because I was so excited for it. Whereas other ones that I might not have been so excited for, but I would have liked to listen to, they can wait a little bit longer. And as soon as like we get to 2021, there's still going to be loads of albums from this year and the previous year and the previous year that you haven't got to, that you may have saved on your Spotify or your Apple Music and you haven't got to yet. So that's just where we're going. That's where we're headed. You just got to do it in your own time, really. You just got to accept the fact you're not going to catch everything. It's just not possible. Like, there's not enough hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? Mohammed, I think we were doing your prediction still.
My one is the fact that everyone's coming out with an album. That's my prediction.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had more.
And I think the Three-Headed Monsters are going to come out with an album.
Three-Headed Monsters.
Yeah, I think Cole, Kendrick, and Drake are coming out with an album. I think the order's going to be Kendrick with the best album, Cole with the second, Drake with the third. Quote me on that.
Because it might
Thank
be
you very
Cole's
much.
last one, because they're talking about it might be his last album. I think it'll be really good.
No, I still think Kendrick's going to have the best album, though. If we had to just...
Is it meant to be Cole's last album?
Nah, man, the Fall Off. He was still...
Let's talk about that. He's hinted at retirement.
Cole was still right.
He's not retiring.
Yeah, he ain't retiring.
He ain't retiring shit.
My guess for 2020, Cole ain't going nowhere.
He's not going anywhere. Anyway, so we're going to go to my predictions. I've only got 3.
This is going to be
I think Kendrick is going to drop the album of the year, if he drops.
album of the year.
Album of the year. Because he's just that guy, innit? He's got that sauce. And even if you might not necessarily like what he has to bring out, the hype around it is obviously going to help. But like, there's never been a Kendrick album that you've disliked. So for that reason, I feel like he's going to drop the album of the year. And that's not to say I've got high expectations. I just feel like you don't need to have high expectations with Kendrick.
Do you though? What is your expectations for this album in terms of?
I don't have any.
If you had to compare your expectations to each of his albums, where does this rank?
The pressure for me as a fan. The pressure was highest after Good Kid. Since then, it's been Gucci. It's been absolutely Gucci. Like, he's exceeded such high expectations for me that at this point, I don't really have high expectations anymore, because I know he's just going to deliver quality and he's going to deliver amazingness, which he has from day dot. So I don't really have expectations like that anymore. I just know that I'm probably going to love what he has to offer, and I feel like it's just going to be amazing anyway. Because
devil advocate, isn't you saying he's gonna have album of the year pressure?
Yeah, of course, but he has shown that he can live up to pressure.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Like, I don't think pressure is a thing for him.
It's just
The fact that he takes 3 to 4 years out to make albums shows you that he is not one to get pressured.
and he doesn't do this fake going out. He really disappears.
Yeah, he lives life. He
Yeah, like
does
he's
shit.
one of these guys that you still see his face. You don't see Kendrick.
Exactly.
Yeah, like he's good with that. You don't see Kendrick.
And he takes his time. He takes his time. He
And he takes
crafts.
risks.
He takes risks and he crafts all of his music meticulously, and that's one of the many things I love about him.
Yeah,
So for that reason, I feel like with everything that he's done so far and just the meticulousness of his approach and his qualities, whatever he drops is going to be the album of the year. In the US side of things. On the UK side of things, Gets is going to drop the album of the year, inshallah. And yeah,
manifest it, bro. Manifest it.
Manifest it. Yeah, man. I just think off the back of this year, man. Like I said, I mean, we've already heaped enough praise on him this episode, but yeah, man, he's definitely got something cooking, and whatever he does have cooking when it drops, yeah, man, it's gonna blow a lot of people out of the water, man, for sure. I thought his last album and the album before were great, but this one is shaping up to be possibly a UK classic.
If it is, where does it change your rankings in terms of where Get sits?
Well, he's one of my favorite. He's in my top 5 anyway. Okay. But as far as I mean, and he's still like for me one of the best the UK's ever produced.
I agree with you. He's in my top 5 as well.
Top 10 UK all time on an objective level. I don't think anyone can argue that. But yeah, man, I think this album, if it's as amazing as I think it's gonna be, it's gonna take him to another level for sure. Okay. My final prediction: Stormzy's gonna address Chip.
Say that again.
Stormzy is going to address Chip.
Do we care?
Yes, we do.
Once he addresses him, we will care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Bro, where?
So the
What?
window's not closed.
Do you know how
The window is
easily
not closed
entertained we are
because Lady Leisha and Ivorian Doll, Lady Leisha dropped a song making light of the reason why Ivorian Doll became a trending topic. A year and 9 months later, Ivorian Doll drops her daily duppy in response and basically calls Leisha a bitch. And a few months later,
that was clout chasing.
Leisha responds.
That was clout chasing, though.
There's no statute of limitations when it comes to beef, clearly. Like, obviously we were talking about in previous episodes that, you know, the timing was important and shit, but it doesn't really matter anymore, to be honest.
He will have us all watching.
I just want to say something, man. UK MCs out there. There are certain MCs that you just do not want to hear. On that list is as follows: Nole, Lady Leisha. That's all I got.
Well, you ain't gonna put Chip in there.
And Chip.
You don't want it with Lady Leisha.
Those
Like,
three-
all jokes aside, you
No,
do
yeah, you
not
don't
want it with Lady Leisha. Leave her alone.
She will dish you in 7 different accents.
Bro,
Same as Nole. Don't talk.
the
don't
word,
do it.
the
Yeah,
word,
don't even talk at her.
yeah, the wordplay these lot got is just like you could tell Ivorian Doll thought about for 10 hours. She was sitting at home thinking about that. I'm Alicia.
But
Yeah, you leave Lady Alicia alone, man. You don't want it with her.
Exactly.
Like, you don't. What she done to Paige Cakey, you just don't want it with her.
which was even more disrespectful than what she
yeah,
did to
Paige
Ivorian
Cakey,
Doll.
she put in a
They were in a relationship.
Exactly.
bro.
Which let me know that Leisha's mad, you know.
Try to say that.
Because they were in a relationship and she dissed her ex.
Nah, but Paige
Like-
sent
No,
Paige sent first.
hacked her Twitter.
Yeah, Paige sent first.
Listen, I get it, but fucking hell. It's crazy, bro. But anyway, I feel like Stormzy's going to address Chip. I don't know if it's going to be a song, but there'll probably be a sub there, here or there that Chip will catch. I just feel like Stormzy is way too much of an MC to just leave it alone.
And Stormzy's got an advantage now at people not expecting anything from him. People think it's going to be so one-sided that can work towards you. There's a lot of pressure on Chip if Stormzy does that.
Only if the diss itself is great.
So when you're known as the killer, there's pressure on you. If Stormzy mollywops him, you saying that's not going to happen, it's pressure.
No, it's not.
It's it. So what is it?
It's not pressure.
When you've got expectation on someone, there's pressure with someone,
Yeah, but
right?
I'm telling you what's not going to happen.
No, that's
It's
pressure,
not
my
gonna
bro.
happen.
I agree with you. I'm saying
There's no pressure.
I'm saying
It's
there's.
just not
I
gonna
cannot see Stormzy.
happen. Nobody can molly
I'm
up
saying
Chip. It's
I
impossible.
can't. I'm not saying he can. I can't see it at all. I think Chip's gonna have a field day. I'm just saying.
And I'm not saying Stormzy can't win.
I'm just
Chip
saying.
will never get
No,
mollywopped.
I'm just saying. I don't think he's gonna get mollywopped either. I'm just saying because people looking at Stormzy like he has no chance. Mollywop these guys.
No one's looking at Stormzy like
I think a lot of people are looking at Stormzy like he's got no chance
Nah,
against
they're
Chip.
just
I'll be
looking
honest
at
with
it
you.
like Chip's chip.
Nah.
So you gotta have it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? You're on social media. I think a lot of people think Stormzy don't stand a chance.
So
Honestly.
No, I mean, you're probably right. I think there's always a section of people that feel like Stormzy hasn't got a chance. But to Peter's point, what's not going to happen is Stormzy's going to mollywop Chip. It's just not possible.
That's not going to happen. I'm just talking about. I think there's some people that think Stormzy can't even win.
He can't win.
That's my point. To say Stormzy can't win,
How?
Bro, to say Stormzy can't win, bro, that's
how.
It's not like Stormzy can't rap.
Tell me how.
It depends how you're measuring winning. Now, if we're talking lyrical ability, Chip is the better MC. So based on that, he can't beat Chip.
What angle does
that's what I mean.
As far as producing the better diss track, Stormzy can do that.
It just depends on what angle you come from. If Stormzy comes from the right angle,
Chip's not going to take it easy on Stormzy.
Hey man, I hope you're right, Yemi.
You hope I'm right?
I hope you're right.
Hey man, we'll see. I mean, obviously, like, I don't know, man. I think maybe I'm shitting on Stormzy a bit too much, but I just don't know, man. I don't know if he's capable of this, to be honest. Like, he might drop a couple good, cool diss tracks, but is he gonna win the beef? I don't see it happening, bro.
We'll see.
We shall see. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And I think that's it for our roundup episode, guys. 43 episodes in, and it's gonna be more of that to come.
Couldn't stop us. Nothing will stop us, bro.
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Mo's a man of the people.
COVID, we soldiered through. Last week done a lot, man. We're good, man.
I just appreciate the listeners, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether it's 1 listener, 10 listeners, 100 listeners, I just appreciate people taking time out of their day just to hear our opinions and just hear what we have to say.
Imagine waiting.
That's dope. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a bit weird too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, who waits for my?
We chat shit more time.
I salute to Complex one last time, bro. That rap, that is the best thing I've had this year. Us being on Complex might be the biggest thing. That might be that's the best thing I had this year. Can't lie. Seeing our podcast on Complex is a different feeling. That's a madness. That's not play.
It is. It's a sign of our powers.
Shit, the way he's like wait for Yemi. He's used to this, bro. Yemi's a different human being.
Listen, I'm forever grateful for every acknowledgement we get, for every opportunity we get, and there's gonna be more.
Hey man, and I
inshallah, in Jesus' name.
I appreciate you too.
Appreciate you both as well, and
I don't know how we haven't got locked off in 43 episodes.
Nah, really and truly, I just don't understand it.
If these not saw me before,
if the unedited versions ever got released,
what if they ever saw the group chat? Oh my god!
Maybe we'll free up the thing next year.
If they saw the way we had to censor us before when we was in Pete's yard when we went shot the setup.
But hey, all part of the journey that you're now seeing in real time. So
hey, salute to
again,
everyone. Appreciate it.
From us at the Rhymes Like Diamonds podcast, we'd like to thank you for your listenership. We'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at. Obviously, COVID in the UK anyway has kind of fucked everything up, but we hope that you're able to find peace and happiness in this period. We wish you a very happy new year as well, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, and we shall see you in 2021. So if there's nothing else, lads.
Hey man, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Peace to the gods and the earths.
He just had to pull that up.
Bro, I'm not even
one
like
last
that.
time
I'd
for
even,
2020.
I'd even bite.
Feel you.
Hey,
right.
Assalamu alaikum.
We shall see you in 2021. 2020 can fuck off.
It could do one, bro. Fuck 2020.
We will see you soon. Take care and peace.